You secretly love failure, and you'll keep having a deep love affair with it until you do what I'm about to show you. No matter how many productivity hacks you try or how many times you tell yourself this time it'll be different, you'll sabotage your relationships, ruin your goals, miss the moment. There's another part of you hidden in the dark, and that part is rooting for your downfall. It's pulling the strings behind every self-sabotage, every repeated mistake, every time you talk yourself out what you need to do. And unless you control it, it wins. Gandalf knew what it meant to face darkness. He went through death, through shadow, and when he came back, he wasn't Gandalf the Grey anymore. He became something greater. You can transform too, but first you need to see what's pulling you down. The conscious mind. Here's the biggest lie, that you want to succeed, that your conscious mind is steering the wheel, but it's not. You think you're making the decisions, but you're really reacting from the parts of your mind you're not aware of. And this is why you fail. Because your shadow, your hidden self, has a plan, and unless you make it conscious, you're just following a script you didn't write. In The Lord of the Rings, Gandalf doesn't start as the brave wizard in white. He starts as Gandalf the Grey, a very cautious wizard. But if you're not steering the wheel, who is pretending to? The persona. The persona is the mask you wear to face the world. It's the version of you that plays by the rules, that fits in, that's socially acceptable. Let's talk about Gollum. Gollum has two sides to him, Smeagol and Gollum. Gollum is the twisted, obsessed version of Smeagol created by his inner pain and the ring's dark power. All he cares about is getting back his precious. Smeagol was once a kind, curious creature who lived peacefully until the One Ring corrupted him. Gollum has never faced his obsession, so his dark side took over. His desires, jealousy, and hate changed him into someone he couldn't even recognize. Now look at Gandalf. At the start, Gandalf the Grey is a respected yet cautious wizard. But he has not yet reached peak character development. He's basically still in his prequel phase. In the Mines of Moria, he's pulled into his deepest test. He meets Balrog, a fiery force of shadow and chaos. This is no ordinary enemy, this is his shadow. And Gandalf does what most never do. He doesn't run, he faces it. He falls into the abyss with it. And that's where the transformation begins. The persona wants to fit in, but there's something else that wants to have full control. The ego. The ego is who we think we are. It's the I we believe is in control. But as Jung warned, the ego is always at the center of our field of consciousness. But it's not the whole personality. Your ego wants comfort, control, certainty. That's why it's scared to die. Gandalf makes the conscious choice to let his ego die. He doesn't resist, he descends, knowing it's the only way up. When he falls with Balrog, something inside him breaks. His false self is burned away. This isn't just a fight. This is a symbol of his ego, his old self dying. He says, I threw down my enemy and smote his ruin upon the mountainside. Darkness took me, and I stayed out of thought and time. He enters the unconscious, the void, the space between death and rebirth. And when he comes back, he's changed. He's no longer the humble wanderer. He's now the ultimate beacon of hope. This is what most people are really scared of, losing their ego. Because we've spent our whole lives building an identity around who we think we are. Strangely enough, losing your ego is how you start to truly find yourself. You think your ego is you, but beneath that illusion is a vast sea of instinct, memory, and misery. The unconscious. The unconscious holds everything you've buried to fit into society. Your shame, fear, instinct, forgotten memories, and desires. It's called the unconscious because it's the part of you that you're not aware of. You don't see it, but it shapes your thoughts, reactions, and patterns. When Gandalf falls, he enters a world beyond the physical. He battles Balrog for days across the mountain, through fire and ice. This is exactly what it is like to face your unconscious. It's not a 5-minute meditation you saw on TikTok. It's a war, but a necessary one. Because if you don't face your unconscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate, as Jung wrote. And buried in the unconscious is something darker. The shadow. The shadow is the side of you you don't want to see. But here's the problem. Your shadow wants to be known. It doesn't care if it has to destroy your plans, your relationships, or your reputation to be seen. It wants to exist, to be felt, integrated, and lived. So the more you push it down, the more it resurfaces as painful experiences. And this is why deep down you secretly love failure. Because the part of you that's unconscious, your shadow, is addicted to it. So it drags you back into old pain, into habits you promised you'd leave behind. Because deep down, you're scared of what would happen if you succeeded. You would have to be a different person, and the ego doesn't like that. Gandalf faces his shadow in the fight with Balrog. Gollum never did. Gollum is what happens when your shadow is denied. Jung said, "The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real. But your shadow isn't here to destroy you. It's a doorway to something. Animus anima." This is where most people get it wrong. Your shadow isn't evil. It's the doorway to your anima or animus, your inner feminine or masculine side that connects you to who you really are. It holds your power, your energy, your hidden creativity, everything that makes you feel alive. The problem isn't your shadow, it's your refusal to face it. When the inner masculine and feminine meet, you're called to something greater. Individuation. Individuation is the journey of becoming your whole true self. Not just who you pretend to be, not just what you want to show the world, but who you are beneath it all. Individuation is not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming real. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Gandalf the White is not a different wizard. He is Gandalf, finally whole. He says, "I've passed through the fire and deep water. I've forgotten much that I thought I knew and learned again what I had forgotten." What if your purpose, your relationships, your clarity all live on the other side of this inner confrontation? It's not about fixing yourself, it's about knowing yourself, all of you. Jung called this process individuation, the path of becoming whole. When Gandalf the White returns, he's not just a wizard, he's a radiant force of hope. The army at Helm's Deep sees him shining atop the hill. That could be you, but only if you stop running. You've been failing for a reason, and that reason is not because you're broken, it's because your shadow is knocking. Until you face it, it'll sabotage you, like Gollum. But if you face it like Gandalf, face it, accept it, then, just then, you'll stop secretly loving failure. You'll start truly living. This is the 5th and final video in the Jungian series, at least for now. If you found value in these psychology insights and cinematic breakdowns, like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. If you have a movie, series, or anime or book you want a Jungian breakdown on, drop it in the comments. And if you want to support the channel, you can get my $1 guide on finding true purpose and practicing deep meditation in the description or pinned comment. Feel free to pay more if you'd like to support the channel.